Hello and thanks for tuning in. My name's Rob Tart. This is my cow Fluffy, and you're watching Pie's Perspective. Alright Fluffy, it's go time. Mexican drug smugglers are always looking for new ways to get drugs over the US border. Drugs are smuggled over in a variety of ways, from tunnels to microlight aircraft. Now the latest idea from a group of smugglers is to use a catapult to hurl the drugs over the border. Now the men were noticed on surveillance video and apprehended. But first off, I have to give points for ingenuity and thinking outside the box on this one. The catapult allows you to get drugs over the border without having to use human beings to carry the narcotics. Now still, I can see a few issues with this technique. First of all, you have to have somebody in the vicinity of the landing zone to pick up the drugs. Launching bags of dope in random directions doesn't do much good if you can't recover the dope on the other side. So that leads me to wonder how they plan to actually aim the catapult. The military uses sophisticated computers on weapons that are designed to fly when they designate a target. These guys are shooting a package of dope, which isn't very aerodynamic, large distances. Trying to aim a catapult with any accuracy at all just doesn't seem feasible to me. Not to mention other factors like the wind and weather. Launching dope in a thunderstorm could seriously affect flight trajectory. I have to wonder what would happen if the dope got soaked with water and then turned into some kind of a dough. Then if you decided to take that dough and bake some bread, you would kind of end up with a catch-22. You make a sandwich out of the bread, you eat it, you get stoned, you get the munchies, you make another sandwich out of the bread, you eat it, you get more stoned, and so on and so on. Eventually you're way too stoned to make another sandwich, but not before you start seeing orangutans doing gymnastics on your neighbor's lawn. What if the dope hits the guy who's waiting for it in the head? Now I can picture the smugglers locking in a trajectory and launching multiple bags of dope over the border. The guy tasked with picking up the dope decides he's going to try to catch the first bag like some sort of NFL receiver. Eventually the authorities roll up to find bags of dope scattered around the area and a drug smuggler knocked unconscious from being hit in the head from a bag of dope. I guess when he comes to, he could just claim that he was minding his own business when bags of dope started raining from the sky. Alright, who wants ice cream? We have the thumbs upsicle, the subscribe-sicle, the 3-flavor fave-sicle, and the comment on a stick. Please help yourself to anything you like. A convicted killer named Tracy Province was captured by authorities after being on the lam. Once captured, he stated that he wanted to commit suicide because he was having trouble dealing with the fear and panic he was feeling at being on the run from authorities. What's interesting about this story is his chosen method of suicide. His plan was to go to Yellowstone National Park, overdose on heroin, and then let the bears eat him. Now usually when you hear about suicides, you usually hear about someone who found a way to kill themselves quickly. You know, jump off a bridge, jump in front of a bus, overdose in the bathtub, watch 10 straight hours of Full House. Now I don't have suicidal thoughts, but if I did, I think I'd want to do it as quickly and as painlessly as possible. The idea of letting a bear devour me doesn't seem like an easy way to die. And of course, this plan has a couple of possible hurdles. So let's say that he finds an area that he thinks is frequented by bears. So he shoots up some heroin, but no bears find him, so he doesn't die. Eventually his buzz wears off, and now he's in a bear-infested forest with no drugs to null his pain. Getting spotted by a bear at that point makes the entire venture the mother of all backfires. What if you're actually found by a bear, but he's not all that hungry, so he decides just to take a leg. You eventually wake up, you're no longer stoned or immune to pain, and one of your limbs is missing. Now you're forced to limp for your life, possibly being pursued by a pack of hungry wolves. What if the bear does find you, eats you, and then becomes stoned on heroin himself? Now park officials have to deal with a stoned bear. I think if you want to commit suicide by animal, you shouldn't take the heroin until you're absolutely sure that you're going to be devoured. So I think I've come up with a foolproof plan. First, head out to the African savannah, find a pride of hungry lions, take off all of your clothes and cover yourself in zebra-scented perfume, do your heroin, and then run up and kick one of the male lions in the apple sack. Mission accomplished. Somebody mentioned in the comments section of my last video that even though I say today's question of the day, I don't actually ask a question. So I decided to change it to today's feel free to leave a comment of the day. What are some other novel or unique ways that you could use to get drugs over the border? Now this is for entertainment purposes only. Please don't try this at home or at the border. Now that I think about it, that's actually a question. Number 2, what are some other foolproof techniques that you could use to ensure that you will be devoured by an animal? I presented one in my last story and I'm interested in seeing what you guys will come up with. Anyway, that's all I have for this week. Thanks for tuning in, and remember, it's not necessarily right or wrong, it's just my perspective. Fluffy, are you sure you packed this parachute correctly? Fluffy, are you okay? Oh, thank Bovine for that. Now drugs are current. The men were noticed on surveillance video and could seriously affect flight trajectory. A convicted killer named because he was having trouble daring the. What if you're actually found by a bear, but he's not all that hungry, possibly being pursued. Kick one of the male light. Now this is for entertainment. Now this is for entertainment purposes. Now this is for